Today's stories include Fair Games loses its lead developer, Bungie's been caught stealing artwork for Marathon, and a bunch of Nintendo news. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, May 16th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing, Adelia Jr. Joining me is LaCroix Poppy, Tim, William, Gettys.
Oh, man. I don't like days like this, Bless, where I look at the run of show and I'm just like, can we just get to the good stuff at the end?
Me and you are opposites because as soon as I saw this news yesterday, I looked over at Roger and I was like, who's on KFGD tomorrow?
Yeah, okay.
I hope it's me. There's so much to talk about.
Much to talk about. That is correct. That is correct. I just want things to get back on track. You know what I mean? I feel like story number one,
never on track.
Story number two, this just is not good. For PlayStation in particular.
Wait,
but
you're telling me that PlayStation's multiplayer online live service strategy is off the rails?
Having some issues.
You're telling me that they're having some bumps in the road?
Well, I mean, maybe they'll find the money somehow. Unless they lose the money, unless they purposefully choose to get rid of the money. We'll get to it in a second. Because
remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, some of your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after KFGD, you're going to get Gamescast, which is Tim talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4.
With Jake Baldino and my new homie, Stu.
Let's go.
That formerly worked at GameSpot and now is the editor for SkillUp.
A lot of SkillUp lately.
Yeah,
on this channel.
I like it. It feels good.
And then after Gamescast is Star Wars Andor Season 2 finale Screencast. And then the stream is Doom. If you're a Kinda Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, which I believe is coming from Andy. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, Ore Frames, and Rocket Money, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have
Kevin's breaking.
8 stories today.
A baker's dozen!
I did that knowing that he's been sick this week.
Yeah.
And he said that his throat was hurting, so I wanted to see how
Let's
far.
see how long we can go. I like it, that Friday energy pushing through.
Bless, you're going to have to take your laptop. I have to keep working on your computer. Sorry about that.
Wait, really? Oh, no, he's messing with me.
No, I'm serious. This thing happened. There was a weird error.
It happened while you're in the room you're in right now?
Yeah. Well, no, I told Tim earlier.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Kevin's been helping me get a better GPU in my system, and it's been a whole thing. Cause
really?
Because we need to. Listen. I brought it on Friday. And it was looking good, but then we realized we had the wrong cables, and so Kevin ordered.
He has a very unique power supply. Everything else has a Corsair power supply. For whatever reason, this one computer has a different power supply.
And so I often compliment Bless on his power supply.
A lot of people do. Listen, a lot of people say I got a unique power supply, but yeah, I got the better cables, and then got them on Monday. Turns out they were the wrong cables. So then we got the better cables that came in while I was out of town on Tuesday. Turned out though on Tuesday, Kevin would go on to get sick and then not be back until today. And so I get back on yesterday, and I'm like, why is my computer all gutted still? Why isn't it fixed? And I look at Joey, and Joey's like, oh, Kevin's been sick. And I'm like, oh no, I don't have a computer. So then I try to do it myself, and then very quickly I'm like, no.
Nope.
I turned into Greg Miller, where I got angry.
It's crazy how little he tried. All he had to do was plug it in, but he couldn't get it to I plugged
one thing in, and then it's just like I didn't want to figure out how to get it to the other side of the computer.
I get it.
And then I started turning into Greg Miller. I started to get angry.
Yeah.
I started being mean to Roger. And I was like, I'm just going to go right
to
Roger. Story number 1. PlayStation executive Jade Raymond leaves the studio she founded. This is coming from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. Jade Raymond, the founder and head of Sony's game developer Haven Studios, has left the company. PlayStation leadership didn't give Haven staff a reason for her departure, but it came several weeks after an external test of Haven's first game, the online shooter Fair Games, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Some developers at Haven were concerned about how the game was received and its progress, said the people, who asked not to be identified because they aren't authorized to speak publicly. Quote, Jade Raymond has been an incredible partner and visionary force in founding Haven Studios, a PlayStation spokesperson said in a statement. Quote, we are deeply grateful for her leadership and contributions, and we wish her all the best in her next chapter, end quote. The spokesperson added that the company is committed to supporting Haven Studios and excited to continue the journey with new co-studio heads Marie-Eve Dany and Pierre-Francois Sapinski. Fair Games, announced in 2023, is one of the few entries remaining in the slate of live service games greenlit by PlayStation several years ago. Fair Games was originally slated for release in fall 2025, but had been delayed to next spring, the people said. In addition to this,
it's important here.
It is very important. I'm pulling from Noble, who tweeted about this. Fair Games has dropped the $, everybody. It's now just a regular S. This comes from, I believe this is Reset Era, where somebody responded to Jason's post saying, Jason, you keep misspelling Fair Games as Fair Games for some reason. And then Jason replies, I guess I buried the real scoop here, but they dropped the $.
You know, Social Network taught us that, you know, it's cleaner. You drop the. Here, they just realized we got to be realistic. We got to drop the money. We're not making any. This game's not going to work for us. We're just putting this out here. It's a game. That's
I view
accurate.
it as a Bitcoin thing of like, we got to separate ourselves from the crypto bros.
You think so?
I would think so. Yeah.
That's very generous of you. This isn't great news, right? I feel like we hear the names Jade Raymond and Amy Hennig a lot, and I feel like whenever one comes up, you bring up the other. I don't know that that's entirely fair, but I do think that there is reason for it, right? When it comes down to these are two people that have worked on legendary projects and keep almost doing something, and then it ends up not happening. And it's been a long time since we've actually seen the fruits of their labor. And looking at this, it's like we still have Amy Hennig on 1943 Marvel's Rise of Hydra, which recently got delayed.
You know that name.
I think I said it out of order.
You said Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, but you still.
I got the parts there. That got delayed recently to 2026. I still have my hesitations on if that's actually a video game or if it is more of a very glorified tech demo of a game that is vast majority, like way more even than like a Metal Gear Solid 4 cutscenes. Wow, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's my theory on it so far. But when it comes to Fair Games, it's like that's a game. You know, like we've seen it. We know that it is going to be a video game. We kind of fully understand what that game's going to be. And I think that it's easy to say the vast majority of us look at it and go, don't know about that one. And that's adding on to other games that PlayStation's been working on and putting out, similar to you can't not bring up Concord, right? You can't not bring up Marathon. We'll talk about that even more later. But Fair Games, I do think, is one of the ones that most of us kind of like we use as a butt of a joke when we talk about these games, right? Like for the last year plus, we've been talking about Fair Games like, oh, and when will we see that? Like, what's that going to look like? Like, I bet that's going to win. And we're all being assholes. And it's so this happening now, like after a playtest, an external playtest, I saw someone in the chat implying that they are actually playing it now. They're NDA'd, but they're just like, you know, maybe I'm playing it.
Are you having fun? Let us know in chat if you're that person. Is it good?
So that is interesting, right? It actually is being played right now by some external people.
Yeah.
But we all got to play Marathon recently too. So it's like we're getting to the point that these games are going to be released, right? I guess let me start there, Bless. Does Fair Games get released?
Oh, if I'm a betting man, I would say no.
Really?
They lost Jade Raymond. Yeah, no, like the Jade Raymond founded the studio. This game exists because of Jade Raymond. If Jade Raymond's out, then like, and this game is a year away. Like,
do you think it is though?
Do I think this game is actually
it's originally slated for fall 2025, but been delayed to next spring? Like,
yeah. So internally, they're talking about next spring. Does that even happen? Who knows? Probably gets delayed further. I think if we're that far out from it, PlayStation, I think it'd be different if Concord didn't happen.
Yeah.
If Concord didn't happen, I could see PlayStation being like, we're close enough and we have a team, like, see it through. If this is happening weeks after the external playtest and they're like, oh, we got to get rid of Jade Raymond, this thing from the top down is not looking good. get rid of it, like cancel it. Like, no, I don't think this is gonna happen. I go back to the PlayStation blog where when they first announced Fair Games, they talked about what it was, and like I think one of the core issues is that the pitch of Fair Games, I don't think excites us, right? It's a competitive heist game coming to PS5, PC. I'm trying to get deeper into it where they talk about the PvE aspect of it, right? Fair Games came from the desire to create a new type of PvP game with emergent sandbox gameplay. We want to deliver a fresh multiplayer experience that rewards creativity and mastery and delivers surprising stories each and every time you play. I read that and I go, what does any of that mean?
Yeah.
You sound like every multiplayer game in existence, right? And they go on talking a bit more about it, right? But like, I don't know, even aesthetically, I look at Fair Games and I see so many games that kind of give me that same vibe, right? And like so many games that seem like they're doing it maybe even slightly more competently. I look at something like the finals, and the finals kind of came and went a little bit, but at the very least, it seemed like there was a spark in finals that was connecting with people. As of now, I just don't see anything about Fair Games that is connecting as far as like the marketing of it, the word of mouth of it, like how it fits into the PlayStation ecosystem. Jade Raymond leaving for me is like then this has nothing. Like it really is an uphill battle for y'all to get me on the side.
I'm so with you with all of that. I don't know how important the Jade factor is though. Like I feel like a lot of what we're talking about here is like that's probably the ideation and just like the initial leading of the project. But with how far we're into this now, I assume people play testing it and them even internally having a release date set for within a year of now. Like I feel like it's too late to just like rip the cord on this one. Like I feel like it has to come out, but what form does it come out in, right? I think that is interesting. But like because like I'm with you as a person that doesn't fully understand the intricacies of where all the money goes with this stuff. Like we look at this and go, hey, Concord didn't work, so learn from that and just don't do it again. But at what point is that just not tenable because they have to make money?
But the reason why I bring up Concord happening is specifically how badly Concord performed, right? Like Concord was at the point where it's like, oh, just put it out at that point, right? Like you're that far with it. People might the word of mouth, the pre-orders, all that stuff aren't looking great, but you're there, so just put it out. And they took it offline in 2 weeks.
Unbelievable. Honestly, one of the most unbelievable stories in video game history.
Like,
period.
One day we're gonna understand the amount of money that was lost with the launch of Concord.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think they'd rather cut something this far out than to have another Concord.
Yeah. And that's my thing is like I just want to see if that happens. Like I don't know that they have the means to do that at this point. If they do, like I know they did it with Concord backwards, like they did that after the game launched. Doing it before is going to be very, very interesting and I put Sony in a very bad spot, honestly.
Well, I guess like I could see the conversation being if they weren't thinking free to play, like maybe it is a free to play game, right? Like maybe.
Absolutely.
My worry with Fair Game so far, and you have like a lot of room for marketing and advertising left, right? Like if this thing is at least a year away to get people on your side, I worry that there's not going to be any fans of this game going into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you got to do whatever you can to get a player base. And I think that has to be either free to play, that has to be putting this game on PS Plus so that any people that are part of that service can jump into it.
It has to be that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that a $40 price tag's an option for this.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like we know that. I'm sure that they know that. Will they listen to that or not? That's the big question. But I do think that I would bet that this game is released free to play over it being straight up canceled.
I can see that.
At this point.
I can see that.
It is interesting, though, with Marathon coming out. I just checked September 23rd this year. Like, there was no point in which we were like, oh, yeah, they should definitely have Fair Games and Marathon, But having them now, like, that close to each other, like, that sounds like a horrible idea.
I want to bring in some super chats. Samson L writes in and says, Jade Raymond's track record got to be not great by now, right? Also, Fair Game sounds like an extraction shooter, and they got Marathon coming. Again, it's for that second half. I get that. That's why I'm like, you guys have so much marketing and convincing to do as far as selling people on what Fair Games is, because when I read it on paper, I think about so many other games that are out right now that I would probably rather play. Like you got to really show why this thing is special and why it sticks out from the pack.
And not to rehash the exact same conversation we've been having for years now, but I do think that it's been long enough that it's important to bring up again. PlayStation was trying to rebrand what PlayStation games means.
Yeah.
And they're failing at that. And this is where we're at now of they are trying to make, you think extraction shooters, you think about like those PC games that Mike plays on stream. You know what I mean? PlayStation was like, oh, there's money and value there. Let's have it so it's not just third-person dad games, right? And big, gigantic budget narrative experiences on PlayStation. Let's also find ways to make money from quote-unquote smaller multiplayer experiences that we can kind of nickel and dime in different ways, like whether it is a free-to-play model or if it is a, hey, it's a budget title, but then we'll get them on the microtransactions and all that stuff later. It's not working. It's just not working.
And
so
to add to that, I also think they know that it's not working.
Clearly,
like,
right?
I just think about how long we've known about Marathon, Fair Games, like all these things, Concord, and think about how long it's been since they've announced another one of those.
I know. But so it is interesting. We can't have this conversation without bringing up Helldivers. Like, there was a success. And a success out of nowhere. A success that is, oh man, there was no marketing. People weren't convinced on that game. And all it took was for it to be good, and it worked, and it convinced people, right? I'm not expecting Fair Games to be another Helldivers. I'm expecting it to be another Concord.
Yeah.
You know?
I also wonder if Helldivers, as far as PlayStation's jump into, we want to make these 10 live service things, 12, the number changes, right? Or like we want to invest this much into the live service things. I don't want to take it away from PlayStation that Helldivers 2 is unequivocally a success. That is a huge success. Was that a part of this conversation though, or was that them greenlighting a sequel to Helldivers because they liked Helldivers?
I would bet it was part of this conversation. And I think that it being a sequel to Helldivers and that team wanting to make that and all that stuff, sure, the type of game it is compared to Helldivers 1, I do think that that was a combination of factors, but I do think that it must have started at some point from, hey, we're looking for big PlayStation branded multiplayer games that we can like kind of like rest on. Like this week they put out the PlayStation sales for games, and like Helldivers was insane. I think it was like 16 million. That's nuts, man.
And like I would love to see more of those. We got a lot more super chats coming in. I want to bring in I want to answer the other part of it because they also asked about Jade Raymond's track record. And that's the thing that I think is tough when it comes to video game directors is like you're part of a team. And so when it comes to what makes a project great at the end of the day, like the director has a gigantic part in it, right? But like, I don't know. I think the Jade Raymond conversation is tough when so many of her games haven't seen the light of day, both for the circumstances of like, well, you worked for Google Stadia. Google Stadia went down. What are you supposed to do?
Well, that's not what happened though. Like Stadia did not go down before she did. You get what I'm saying? Like there was a platform there. They just didn't see it through. And that there's business factors there, but I'm just saying it's like there was money involved and like things did not shake out. They all knew what Stadia was going to be at that point in time.
That's
and again,
fair.
Stadia had to walk so that all these other cloud services can run, and we're running now. Yeah. But y'all made your bets there, and there was a lot of money being thrown around.
Yeah, and that's more so the point of like, what are the reasons why the projects didn't see the light of day? Maybe Jade Raymond knew that her project at Stadia wasn't going to see the light of day, or maybe she knew there was a chance that was going to happen, right? But like, the reality is that, like Stadia, there's a bunch of Stadia projects that we just didn't see, or that got like bought and turned into like other things. I think The Quarry was one of those that ended up as an actual game that came out outside of Stadia. But then I look through, I have the Wikipedia open for Jade Raymond projects, right? And like, she's mainly known for executive producing multiple Assassin's Creed games during that Assassin's Creed 2 era, right? So she was a producer on the original, executive produced 2 and Bloodline. She did Splinter Cell, Blacklist. She did Watch Dogs, and then she managed, directed Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry 4. I don't know. I think Jade Raymond is one of those ones that I don't look at necessarily like a Kojima or even honestly like an Amy Hennig. Like, I don't really put them in the same conversation, aside from the fact that a lot of their projects have gotten canceled. I think Jade Raymond for me is just a name I hear because she's happened to have like directed stuff that was popular at Ubisoft in an era, but like, when she got pulled into PlayStation for this, I wasn't like, oh snap, a new Jade Raymond game. Like,
I think that might just be a time and place thing for you of just like, she was very important. Like Jade Raymond is talked about and was talked. I mean, we're talking about her now in that way.
Yeah, but I guess my thing is, does the general audience talk about her like that now?
As much as they do Amy Hennig. If not
I don't
probably
know.
actually more, because yeah, definitely. Jade Raymond was like on stage and like presenting in a way that Amy Hennig, we just are all nerds about because we know the quality of her stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're in a level deeper, I think, than even the Jade conversation. And even that, I'm not saying Jade Raymond's a household name. I'm saying more people would know who Jade Raymond was over the time of talking about all these games, just because of how public facing she was during certain points of her career. Again, we're old fucking men talking about all this stuff. So, and it's been a long time since either of them have released a product. So that's, I think, the big conversation there. But in terms of the track record being not great, it's like, yeah, I think the track record is only not great because things haven't been added in a long time. And the next time something's added, the expectation is only going to be higher and higher and higher. So I do think it's unlikely. I think two things. Personally, I think it's unlikely we ever see a Jade Raymond project ever actually happen, just given the state of the industry and how time works. And second off, I do think that if we did, yeah, then we'll be able to say the track record's not great, because I don't think it's going to live up to expectations. And that's
but my thing is, I don't think there's expectations for like a Jade Raymond thing, right? Like for me, I don't view Jade Raymond as like an auteur or like somebody who it's like, oh, Jade Raymond. I just view Jade Raymond as like another person in the industry who directs games, right? And I think that's perfectly fine. I'm not even trying to take anything away from Jade Raymond. It's more the sense of like, cool, like you have a past working on cool games, but like I think maybe we know the name because she's been on stage like for those times during those games, but I think it's different when I think of like the big name directors that I'm looking forward to the next thing. Like and Amy Hennig, honestly, I am looking forward to Marvel 1943 to see if like she can give me back that Uncharted feel from back in the day.
absolutely, yeah.
I don't have like, I'm not looking for.
You're not an Assassin's Creed guy like that, though. I think that's another big thing. Is that you weren't even a guy when they were like the shit when she was involved.
Yeah, but like,
you know?
And this could be me asking chat or me asking the audience, right? Like, if you are an Assassin's Creed person, are you following Jade Raymond wherever she goes?
I think a big difference too is the idea of what Amy Hennig does versus what Jade Raymond does. Like the being a fan of a writer, I think, is easier than being a fan of Jade's skill set, which is more on the production side of things, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Kojima is the easiest one to throw around, like when we use the word auteur, because it's like he does a little bit of all of it, right? And so it's like this, we're conflating the stories with him as well, whereas like we're not doing that with Jade necessarily.
Yeah.
You know? It's
I hear you.
It's a moot point, because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm with you. It's like, I'm not looking forward to a Jade Raymond thing. And it just does kind of feel like a butt of a joke at this point.
And that's
like, this headline was inevitable.
And I think to ultimately answer my point with Sam Sinell's question, right, of Jade Raymond's track record got to be not great by now, right? My thing is, I'm like, I don't really care about Jade Raymond's track record to that extent. And as far as it not being great, I think that's true for a lot of people in the industry, like especially currently when you're talking about projects getting canceled over and over again and what video games are and how long they take to make, right? Like I have friends that work in the industry where if I look at their resume, it's like cancel thing, but they've been working for the last decade. It's just the fact that oftentimes, many times in video games, things get canceled, things don't come to fruition. And I think Jade Raymond just happens to be a name that we see attached to quite a few things because she has a higher up position. But I don't look at this and go, damn, Jade's fucking up or anything like that. I just go, man, another one bites the dust. As far as I'm more so honestly blame the live service strategy that PlayStation is trying to push and maybe a bad curation on what those games should be. Like if I'm at PlayStation and I see what Fair Games is and I read it on paper and I like decide to acquire them as a studio, I think hopefully there's a backup as far as like, okay, you're gonna make this, but you're also gonna do XYZ thing. Because if it's just the Fair Games heist multiplayer thing, I think that's a really bad decision. And I guess that's what we've been saying for the last few years. But like, it's just a bad decision overall. Like, what's going on?
Last thing I want to say about this is we don't know if she left by choice. We don't know if she was forced out. We don't know any of that stuff. Yeah. So there's a lot of different variables here.
We do know that it was a few weeks after from Jason Schreier's reporting, at least, right? A few weeks after the external playtest of Haven's first game, or PlayStation didn't give Haven staff a reason for her departure, but it came several weeks after an external playtest of Haven's first game.
That doesn't tell me anything, though. Like, that could be her being upset about it and just being like, fuck this, it's not worth it, I'm out. You know what I mean?
But even that's a sign.
True. A sign of the game not being good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not questioning that part.
Sure. Yeah. Let's bring in a couple more super chats before we move on. RVB Jeeps writes in and says, birthday tax. Thanks for all you guys do every week. What are your plans this weekend? Wrapping up AC Shadows and starting Doom. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. What a weekend.
I'm finishing Expedition 33.
Yes.
I've been told I only have maybe about 5 to 6 hours left.
Okay,
and so I'm going to lock in and try to finish that. And I'm having such a good time in that game.
Because me and you are reviewing it on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very
I can't wait to
excited.
talk about it.
I can't freaking wait.
And you've beat it, right?
Oh, yeah, I beat it. And bless, I beat it like 2 weeks ago, and I don't think an hour has went by that I've been awake that I haven't thought about something about the game.
Dude, I knew I liked this game where I was on my trip. Went to LA with Andy to go check out that Laza P DLC. And I was like going through my Spotify and I saw that Clear Expeditions soundtrack was just on there. And I go and I just clicked the first song and I was like, oh, this is
my life.
I'm into this so much.
I've listened to that soundtrack. The thing about the soundtrack is it's all good. Like,
It's
there are
great.
very few standouts, I'll say, but I think that all of it is just so chill. You just put on shuffle. You're just gonna have a good time, man.
I'll tell you a standout right now. Falling Waters Go Blue, I believe is what it's called. It's like one of the fights in Falling Water in like the water level.
Yeah.
Oh, they're cooking.
Good
They're
stuff,
cooking.
everybody.
I'm taking one more look at super chats because you guys got a lot to say about this PlayStation Live Service business. You know what? Our next news story has to do more with PlayStation's live service business, so we'll save some of them for that. But before we get there, I want to tell you about patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium, polarized sunglasses that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. Take it from Tim Geddes, who rocks his Shady Rays every day going on Pokemon Go walks, out and about SF looking dope. If you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. That's shadyrays.com, promo code FUNNY. This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. Every day we're taking photos from big events to silly moments, but doesn't it sometimes feel like all of your favorite photos are just stuck on your camera roll? Wouldn't it be great to have an easy way to share and enjoy them with friends and family? That's where Aura comes in. Aura makes it effortless to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone, so your favorite memories are always within view. Plus, you can personalize and preload an Aura frame for a unique and special gift. We love Aura frames in this office. Roger has one at home he got for his fiance's birthday, and she absolutely loves it. It takes about 2 minutes to set up the frame using the Aura app. Add unlimited photos and videos and invite as many people as you want to an Aura frame. There are absolutely no hidden fees or subscriptions, and for a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by going to auraframes.com to get $20 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver Mat frame. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code AURA20. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. With prices going up on just about everything lately, being smart with your money isn't just a good idea, it's essential. But managing subscriptions, tracking spending, and cutting costs can feel overwhelming. Lucky for you, Rocket Money takes the guesswork out of it, so you can easily make smart decisions. Rocket Money has helped multiple members of Kinda Funny learn they were still paying for things they totally didn't even realize. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. And then you get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year while using the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny today. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. rocketmoney.com/kindafunny.
And we're back with story number 2. Bungie has been caught stealing artwork. This is Ash Parrish at The Verge. Bungie has issued a statement on social media saying it is investigating how unauthorized artwork appeared in the closed alpha test of its PvPvE shooter Marathon. Earlier this week, Scottish artist Fern Hook posted on social media that her work had appeared in the Marathon alpha without her knowledge or permission. Quote, its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017, Hook wrote on X. In an interview with the Washington Post, Fern says she was suspicious that her art may have been used without her permission when Bungie first revealed the game in 2023. In her thread, Fern posted side-by-side comparisons of her work and what appears in Marathon. She also made a post on Twitter in 2024 saying that she hid a reference to the Control-Alt-Delete webcomic Loss in her designs. You gotta be deep online for that shit. A year later, a player posted a screenshot from the game that includes a coded reference to the comic. Bungie says that it was made aware of the issue and determined the art team did not know the artwork was stolen and that a former employee was responsible for adding the assets. The studio also said it reached out to Fern to discuss the matter and that it is, quote, committed to doing right by the artist, end quote. This is not the first time an artist's work has been used for a Bungie product without their permission. In 2024, Bungie agreed to compensate the artist Tofu Rabbit after she discovered that the design for a Destiny 2 themed Nerf gun was ripped directly from her fan art. Bungie has also been accused of using other creators' Destiny 2 fan art for references and cutscenes without permission. Bungie says it's reviewing its in-game assets, especially those done by former employees, to ensure this won't happen again.
Everyone's all up in arms about AI stealing people's art. You know what I mean? But what about the people stealing people's art?
We forgot we are the Walking Dead.
We are the Walking Dead, everybody.
The Walking Dead.
Oh my God, we are the thieves ourselves. This sucks fucking ass. Bungie, what the fuck? This is so bad. This is not the first time they have stolen art.
Yeah.
But also, this is the most egregious time that I know of that they've gotten caught. And specifically, Bless, it's so hard to talk about these PlayStation live service games and have any level of positivity because it all just feels so dire. And we're reading the tea leaves here and just being like, this is a problem. This isn't going to work. XYZ. You look at Marathon, and what's the one thing most people that have talked about Marathon can agree on?
Oh man, the art style is pretty cool.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Oh wow, that's stolen.
That's not theirs.
Oh man, dude, they can't catch a break. And hey, they're the one stepping on the rakes. This is bad stuff, man. Bungie was acquired by PlayStation for billions of dollars.
I forgot all those billions with a B.
That's a B.
That's a B. Oh, what do you think happens from here? Because I imagine the possible routes are you dump the bag on Fern.
Yeah.
Hey, Fern, here's a lot of money. Let's just use your assets.
Here's one of them bees. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's one of them bees for you. The other route is this game gets delayed to hell, otherwise canceled. I imagine delayed to hell though. Like there's
no, I don't think so. I think there's, in my opinion, no way. Like,
what do you think?
They pay money to like get the art, whatever. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Or they just then deal with the legal stuff and like move on. I think that this, as shady as it is, they keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this changes anything. They're not changing the art style of this game.
Then Fern's not taking the bag.
I don't know. Maybe then they just change enough stuff to like get around it. Do you remember this game called Pal World?
Yeah, I do.
Do you remember how those weren't Pokemon?
Remember how quick they changed Sonic in the Sonic movie? Like when people didn't like the original thing. So like it's not for sure you can go in and redo a bunch of stuff and make it adjacent to what the art style is here already without it being plagiarism. But I don't know. I do look at Fern's art and just the inspiration of it all of like, oh wow, yeah, it's not just like a poster on a wall. It's not just a one texture.
No, it's many elements.
Yeah.
Style.
Fern's stuff is like the inspiration for what the art style is of Marathon. And with that being the case, like, yeah, I think that's tough to get around as far as, oh, we'll go in and replace stuff. Like, that's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah. It's possible, though. That style is even based on a style. The fact is, though, these are assets being ripped. Like, these are assets that are legit, like Fern's assets, like Fern's iconography
Yeah.
being used, and letters and actual order of letters and all of that stuff. Like in terms of style and stuff, like I don't know the name of this, but it's like other people can emulate and do similar things and whatever. Like the cover of Gary Whitta's book, Gundog,
Yeah.
has a similar that retro NASA whatever.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know. I don't know the right words to apply to it, but
Like a retro punk.
point is, this is theft. This is
This
is as blatant and egregious as you can possibly get. Like it's not just there's two triangles on top of each other. It's those specific shaped triangles.
I mean, when you hide a meme in your art and you see that meme pop up in the actual game, I mean that's where you
God,
you
it had to
caught
be
them
that one too.
red-handed. Get the bag, Fern.
Get the bag.
Get the bag.
Yeah.
Get them to pay.
Do
up.
not settle for an M. You're looking for a B.
I don't know if you're gonna get the B.
You ain't gonna get that
B. You might.
But you fight for the B, everybody.
You might have to settle for 6 figures.
No.
You might have to settle for 5 figures.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know if you're gonna get the M, if I'm being honest, but you can get a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think you can get a lot of money, honestly, for this. You got 6 figures for sure.
Look at the image. What is it? 6 icons or no 8 icons? Like the last one's like that's my logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just inverted.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's that. Yeah. I mean, that's insane, man. Very, very, very not good. And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
What really sucks about this is at the end of the day, somebody chose to do this. And we don't know how many people were aware of the origins and this and this and this. But what we do know is at the very least, one person did this, claiming that it was theirs. And we are now talking about this on our news show. Many, many other people are talking about this. People want this game to fail. People are out here and you're just giving them even more reason to tear down this project that hundreds of people, if not 1,000 people, are working on to some extent.
Yeah.
And your stupid ass, selfish ass choice to steal is affecting those people. It reminds me of the plagiarism at IGN, the Philip Mewson story and all that stuff. You forever, IGN will be associated with plagiarism because of your dumbass decisions. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This fucking sucks for so many people that could not have known, you know?
Do you believe them when they say former employee? If I'm giving the ultimate benefit of the doubt, if you wanted to explain this away as Bungie, you would say, former employee was using the assets as stand-ins for other things, and when they left, we didn't realize that they were stand-ins, and they just made it into the final game. I could see you want if you wanted to make that argument. That's the biggest benefit of the doubt here. It's the fact that this is not the first time that this has happened where it becomes nefarious.
Our flow in the chat says, and I don't remember if it was in the article you read here, but I did see this earlier today that many people at Bungie follow her, which is very bad.
Yeah.
It's and again, what I just said of all I know is that there's one person, but however many people there are, if you knew about this, it's dude, you are making a bad call that's going to affect everyone around you. And that really freaking sucks.
Yeah. Bringing in some more super chats again. Shout out to everybody writing in today. A lot of people have a lot of opinions, including a brown spot who writes in and says #justice for Mike. I agree. It's fucked up.
It's fucked up, man.
Fucked up. Volk Dasher.
What did Roger do?
You missed a lot, Kevin.
Yeah, there's a lot happened in the last few days. Volk Dash writes in and says, so Marathon is DOA. We know how this ends. Marathon fails. Bungie becomes an official PlayStation managed studio. And Bungie is either shut or PlayStation managed to reinvent them. Doubtful. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be proven wrong in probably 3 years. I don't think there's any way Bungie shuts down. But I do think, I could see PlayStation taking the full control. Hey, Bungie, you are operating now as a PlayStation studio as much as Sony Santa Monica operates as a PlayStation studio, and we're going to lock you in on Destiny, and I don't even know from there, something that's going to be guaranteed success.
I'm right there with you entirely. I don't think Bungie goes away. I think it looks different, and I also do think it'll be taken under PlayStation.
Rick L says, calling it right now, Jason Schreier is going to cook with his next book, The Dark Days of PlayStation. Can't wait to see what he uncovers. I'm going to actually pair that with another super chat that I saw way earlier. Killian C writes in and says, I feel confident saying this could be one of the worst generations of PlayStation ever. Tim, are we being too doom and gloom on PlayStation as a whole this gen?
This is a very nuanced conversation. my personal opinion is that generations have just changed so much of what they are. And I've said this many times, but you'll look at the games that have come out on PlayStation 5. And if you're solely talking about exclusives, then yeah, compare this to PS4. It doesn't look that great. But we're at a point that a generation is tech updates and better graphics and faster RAM and SSDs and all that stuff. And in that case, I've had an amazing generation with my PlayStation 5. But if you're looking at it for just exclusive experiences, it's like, yeah, this doesn't at all compare to PS4. I think it compares to PS3. And then you go back, PS2 is a different ass beast. PS1, every generation just has its pros and cons, and it's just different. But I think that to me, the biggest takeaway is that this is undeniably the most iterative generation split we've ever had. But the people playing on PS5 versus PS4 are having an infinitely better experience, and I'm saying that from experience.
Yeah, I think it's a weird thing to measure in terms of, is this like the dark era for PlayStation, whatever? Because I don't think it, like, the PlayStation 5 is still selling. There's still great games happening on the platform. If we're doing the game where we're ranking generations, it still gets weird in terms of, to your point, every generation is just different as far as what it brings to the table. PS1 is special for a different reason than PS2 is special for a different reason than PS3 or PS4 is special. Now, if I am ranking them, PS5 might be at the bottom. PS5 and PS3 are competing for that bottom spot, right? Because for me, number one, PS2, followed by PS4. I guess, and PS1 and the rest are just, I like bottom three fighting it out. But like, I don't look at them as comparable as much.
And again, we're all bringing different things to this, but I feel like ranking them, I would have to put PS4 on top because I think that it's PlayStation Studios' rise, right? And, and to me, that there's so much value there where you're getting these unique exclusive experiences from PlayStation to define the generation, whereas PlayStation 1 was defined by third-party RPGs and Metal Gear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the PS2 was kind of just like a major hit in a lot of different ways, but like that was kind of a little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah, that's why I love it, man.
Yeah, but also
PS2,
I would say
could be
that the
dope.
reality is PS2, it's kind of like Jack of all trades, master of none. Jack and Daxter of all trades, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But still, and to say master of none even is like a little ridiculous, but we have we have time on our side to be able to
PS2
look
was
back
a glut
and
of
see.
quality,
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
And I know I'm definitely looking back with rose tinted, but also not, because like,
no, we're talking about some of the best games of all time, for sure.
Yeah, like you're talking about like, I mean, what I consider like the height of Metal Gear when you're talking about Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. You're talking about NBA Street Volume 2. Like the fact that we can get an arcade sports game, it can be that good. The fact that you can get a racing game like Burnout 3, and it can be that fucking good. You know what I mean? Final Fantasy X, I haven't played it, but I heard good things.
Yeah, but see, you adding the third-party stuff, that's to me where it gets like just a very complicated thing. Because like, are we going to say Elden Ring's not damn good? And like,
that's what I was going to bring back to as far as like this generation of games. I can't look at the PS5 generation and get mad because we just talked about Clear Obscure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about blueprints.
But also Elden Ring, also on PlayStation 4, right?
Sure.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Also,
it's just like we're getting to this point of just like the generations are like kind of stupid. But where do I play the most games that I fucking love? Yeah, I love my PS5. I really do. You get what I'm saying? Like this generation for me has been awesome. But yeah, you compare the details between the others. It's like, yeah, okay, no. But every generation had its version and form of Concord. It was just a different thing.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next news story. Story number 3, Red Dead Redemption 2 is reportedly coming to Switch 2 as Take-Two commits to Nintendo. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. Red Dead Redemption 2 could be coming to Switch 2 later this year, alongside a current-gen upgrade for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. That's according to Game Reactor, which says it's heard from sources close to Rockstar that the acclaimed open-world game is in the works for Nintendo's new console. Citing its own sources, Nintendo also says RDR2 is coming to Switch 2. That's a great name for a website, Nintendo. It's claimed that RDR2 is for Switch 2 could release around the same time as an update to the game for current-gen hardware with graphics and performance improvements. It's happening, Tim.
It is, and that's cool. You know, what matters to me most is third-party support being expected on the Switch 2. And I think that this is Red Dead Redemption 2 is a technical powerhouse of a video game. And yeah, it could scale down, but I want it to be able to scale to a playable state on the Switch 2. And if they can pull that off, we're sitting real pretty, because what we just were talking about, if the generation's kind of blurred and stuff, cool. If the Switch 2 can play those high-end PS4 games and beyond, we're in a great spot for video games being able to be released on multiple consoles and sell potentially millions more than they would have otherwise. And that's only good for everybody that likes games.
1000%. You know, maybe I'll return to RDR2. I was
Yeah.
harsh on it. I mean, I played like a lot of hours of RDR2 and I just was not feeling it. But like, I don't know. I think about that game sometimes.
Boring.
It is boring.
You gotta ride your horse places.
But people swear by the story, and I'm somebody.
I mean, you gotta ride the horse so much till you get there.
I just get a lot of FOMO
That
when I hear
first
people
45
love things.
minutes of riding the horse, I'm just like, oof.
We got a lot more Nintendo stuff to talk
Let's
about.
get to it.
And this is kind of a Nintendo Wii news in the middle of the Roper Reports. So story number 4, Nintendo details what we're getting with the free Switch 2 updates to Switch 1 games. I'm pulling directly from Nintendo.com. Highlights include for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you're getting for visuals optimized for Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality, and you're also getting frame rate being improved. Improved for smoother movement on Switch 2. For Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, similarly, you're getting optimized Switch 2 display and high-res TVs for improved image quality and optimized for smoother movement on Switch 2, including Bowser's Fury. Additionally, you're getting HDR support for Bowser's Fury only, and then also game share support.
I can't wait for launch, man. I can't wait to just tinker and see what all this actually
Hop
means
into
and
a
looks
bunch of
like.
different things.
You know, this is detailed, but it's still not detailed, if you know what I mean. Like, I want to see, like, what are the numbers we're talking about? Like, what are the actual improvements here? But I do think that this is a good sign. The fact that these are all free updates. Like, think about the last 2 years we've talked about how's Nintendo going to handle this stuff. And so far, it's like kind of the best case realistic option. Like, sure, best case would be everything's free and everyone gets everything they want always. But the reality is they're going back to the majority of games that people would actually care about getting a technical increase. They're giving it to them. And in most ways, this is all the good news. Like, there's some things there that are a little bizarre. Like, why is there no HDR on Mario World, but there is on Bowser's Fury?
The thing
but
I look at is
there's a reason.
Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, they get increased resolution and HDR support, but they don't mention frame rate stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like some things are weird, but we'll just have to see how it all shakes out. And of course, I've said this a million times, there are glaring omissions here. Where's Animal Crossing? Where's Mario Wonder? Where's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? I imagine those are going to get plus versions, like enhanced editions, Switch 2 editions, like we're seeing with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Smash Ultimate plus Subspace. Make it happen. Give me my Subspace emissary.
Keep dreaming. Keep
Give
dreaming,
it
Bless.
to me, man. Give it to me. Story number 5, another Wii Nintendo update via Wario 64. Nintendo confirms VRR is only supported in handheld mode on Switch 2. Quote, Nintendo Switch 2 supports VRR in handheld mode only. The incorrect information was initially published on the Switch 2 website, and we apologize for the error.
This sucks. It's not great news. Obviously, we would want this. It is an amazing feature, and especially with Nintendo focusing this generation seemingly so much on the options of having 120 frames per second mode and things like that and higher resolution. All of it. This sucks. Having said that, I personally, as the Nintendo guy and a tech guy, I'm not that upset about this because I do think that it being on handheld is already a major win, and I'm very stoked about that. But also, this is something they can fix with firmware, and they did with the PlayStation 5. It's a bummer that it's not here, and there's no guarantee it ever will come. But if I was a betting man, I think it will come eventually.
And that is a variable refresh rate. I realize I only read the letters. Yeah. Story number 6, more Wii Nintendo news. Diddy Kong is saved, everybody. This comes from Scott McCrae at Games Radar. A user on Reddit spotted that Nintendo updated a thumbnail on the OG Switch's Nintendo News app featuring Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Where the original thumbnail used their designs that have been present since Rare redesigned DK and created Diddy in 1994, the update changed it to that new DK we've seen in Bonanza, as well as a brand new render showing a fresh Diddy Kong design.
Can you read me the differences, please, Bless, from Stealth on Twitter right there?
Changes. Number 1, teeth. Number 2, Nintendo logo on his hat is gone. Instead, there's something else. Number 3, stomach is a bit bigger. We won. We won, dude. Let's go.
Me and you were just at the Nintendo store, and you've been saying they were trying to erase Diddy Kong.
A lot of Diddy erasure. Right? Diddy Kong erasure.
And he was all over, oh, not all over, but he was over enough the Nintendo store. It's like, okay, cool. Maybe they're not trying to get rid of our little guy. Yeah. And now here they are, redesigning him. They put out new renders of all the classic Mario and Donkey Kong characters today for the Switch 2 era. And it's like, he's right there. He's
there.
Going nowhere, everybody.
Shout out Diddy Kong.
Resilient.
Always with us. You gotta love it.
Yes.
Story number 7. Fortnite players can speak with Darth Vader through a James Earl Jones-voiced AI. This is Charles Pulliam-Moore at The Verge. When Fortnite players meet Darth Vader in the game's ongoing Star Wars event, they'll be able to speak with the Sith Lord directly, and he's going to respond with a voice that sounds exactly like James Earl Jones. Though Darth Vader has previously appeared as an NPC in Fortnite, Epic Games announced today that the character's latest outing will be a bit different thanks to the use of AI. After finding and defeating Vader on the map, players can recruit him onto their teams and speak directly with him using Fortnite's in-game audio chat functionality, and Vader will respond in an AI recreation of James Earl Jones' iconic voice, whose answers vary depending on what players say. Now, there's a video I put in here. It's a minute long. We can probably fast forward halfway through.
Do you believe that
some
will
people
sustain
talking
me in
to
battle?
Vader.
What freaking fucking food is that, Darth Vader? Tell me.
You can hear him respond here.
Freaking fucking. Such vulgarity does not become you.
So the article goes on to mention that it's supposed to be, he's supposed to not curse.
Is that what he's supposed to not do?
So like there is a function so you can report inappropriate reactions from Darth Vader. They're working on it.
Are you telling me that James Earl Jones' voice, but it's not him, it's AI bullshit, is not supposed to be swearing at these children, but here he is saying fucking frickety fuckety boo?
He has 7 fingers also. That's AI. That's AI, you know? That's
okay.
AI.
It's crazy because he said like the perfect thing of like, oh, you shouldn't be cussing, you know?
Yeah.
Like he
was
understood
lecturing
what
him.
he was saying.
Good lord,
It's almost
dude.
like the AI got fed up. And they were like, all right, you fucking kids, you calm yourself down.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
How do you
one
feel about
bit.
the future of video games? We're gonna be talking.
Oh, man,
we're gonna
you
be
know-
talking to Trevor from GTA 5
Yeah,
not too long from
great.
now in GTA Online for GTA 6.
This sucks. That's all I'm gonna say. This
What?
sucks.
You don't want to talk to your favorite characters?
No.
What if it was Spider-Man? What if
No.
what if you could in Spider-Man?
Which
3,
which face? Which Spider-Man? The original
the new
face Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No, don't want to talk
What
to
if
that
you
guy.
could be playing? What's a Tim Geddes game? What if in Final Fantasy VII Remake 3, you're playing as Cloud,
Yeah.
and you can have a whole conversation with Tifa, and Tifa responds while you're talking to your mic.
This
Hey
is,
Tifa, what's good? Tifa's like, not much, Tim. How are you?
I don't like it.
What would you say?
What would I say?
What would you say
What
back
would I say?
to Tifa?
Nothing good. Nothing good, bless.
Whoa.
No. I wouldn't
calm
want to
down.
post that on the internet.
You
I'd be
calm
so
down.
fucking embarrassed that I'm talking to a goddamn computer, getting all turned on and shit. Because that's what these kids are doing. I'm just saying it. I'm just fucking saying it. These kids are getting off on Darth Vader calling him names.
No, it's
so
dynamic. It's
Dynamic.
It's dynamic because like you get to feel like you're in the game. Imagine
sure
wearing
is.
VR and doing this. It's gonna
James
make VR
fucking
gaming
Earl Jones,
way
man.
more engaging. Tim, if we can get this in more games, if we can get this in all the games, that's gonna be
All of
big.
them. It is going to be big.
Gigantic. Just me hanging out as Kratos having a son.
Oh, God.
Talking to my son. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last story, I'm upset now. The Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items that you need to know about.
Story number 8 is Wii News from VGC. Metal Gear creator Kojima says he's reevaluated his priorities since turning 60 and becoming severely ill during the pandemic, and has even left a will containing game ideas for his staff to use after his death. Kojima turned 60 during the production of Death Stranding 2, but the game designer told Edge magazine in its latest issue that an illness he suffered during the pandemic was what most inspired him to seriously consider what to do with his remaining years.
Pretty cool.
Wait, really? Cool?
I think it's pretty cool. Do I also think that there are inherently some like potentially problematic things about this? Yes. But do I also think it's pretty cool? Yes. Both can be true.
If I'm the next leader of Kojima Productions, and Kojima's like, hey, I'm gonna retire. I have a few years left. Here's a USB stick with 10 ideas. Go make these games. I'm gonna say, Kojima-san, thank you so much. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. I'm gonna walk into the next room where Kojima can't see me, putting that shit in the trash. I'm
That's
not wasting my time
disrespectful.
making your ideas.
All right.
I gotta make new ideas.
Do you?
You're here
Are
for
your
a
ideas
limited
as good
time.
as his ideas?
I mean, no.
Okay, that's my only thing then.
You know what?
Again, I there's two sides to this for sure, but this is fucking cool.
Fair enough. This
You
next
gonna
one.
tell me you don't want to know what's on that USB?
You know what? You're right. I do want to know what's on that USB, but I'm not spending my remaining time making another man's game.
Yeah.
It takes so long to make video games. I'm a game director. I'm gonna make my own ideas.
All right.
Maybe I'll
We'll see how well that goes.
See-
at Kojima Productions.
If I worked at Bungie, what I
Yeah.
do is I take those ideas, use them, and I say I came up with them. I'm like, these are my ideas. All right, come after me.
Bless is onto something.
This next one's from Fortnite on Twitter. Nope, it's not. You're not getting me, Kevin. There's a banana in there. You're not getting me. Apple has blocked our Fortnite. That's good. Also, you replaced Apple with banana. Apple has blocked our Fortnite submission, so we cannot release to the U.S. App Store or the Epic Games Store for iOS in the European Union. Now, sadly, Fortnite on iOS will be offline worldwide until Apple unblocks it. I mean, duh. Like,
The wars continue.
yeah, like you fucking step on their feet and fucking fuck up their day. Yeah, they're not gonna let your game back on the App Store immediately.
Yeah.
But keep an eye on it. From Eurogamer, Stellar Blade will release on PC on June 11th, but its availability on Steam has been blocked in over 120 countries, surprising even the game's developer. ShiftUp shared news of the release on social media, but a number of fans responded with Steam screenshots showing the game is unavailable in their region. ShiftUp responded to confirm that the PC version does not require a PSN account and appeared surprised in the replies at the game's unavailability. Checking SteamDB, it appears that Stellar Blade has been restricted in over 120 countries. Most of these are where Sony's PSN is unavailable. So, seemingly there's an error here.
You would hope.
Yeah. Hopefully it
They
gets
got to
fixed.
figure that out. They got a little bit of time to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Next one. Speaking of Eurogamer, Tom Phillips is leaving Eurogamer after
Oh
15
my God.
years. I've read that name many a time.
Yeah,
on
dude.
this
Shout
show.
out to Tom Phillips. Congratulations.
Congrats. Next, Leach and Kelly McCormick will produce the Gears of War movie for Netflix.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
David Leitch, who I think did Deadpool 2,
Leach.
if I remember correctly. So it's cool.
What was the video game movie that was announced a couple days ago while I was gone? And I said enough. There was something, I'm going to come back to it. There was something ridiculous announced a couple days ago where I was like, we got to stop.
Yeah.
We got to stop. Killer Instinct Gold is now available for Switch Online and Expansion Pack. Persona 5 The
Sick.
Phantom X launches June 26th on mobile and PC. Blue Protocol Star Resonance is coming to the West in 2025. And then future game shows.
Riders Republic.
Yeah, we
The
got to
chat's
stop.
saying.
We
Yeah.
got to stop. Enough. We don't need a Riders Republic movie.
I want to watch it, though.
I also want to watch it.
Yeah,
but still
we
enough.
don't need it, but I do want to watch it.
We don't need it, but I will be there. Future game show is set for June 7th, and that is it for Wii News. Before we get out of here, let me take one last look at the super chats. Dave Wuchter writes in and says, voting the birthday tax.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Dave.
Dave.
Oh man, we got a lot of good ones here. Sort by first name says, who knows? Maybe the creator did it as a quick, rough mock-ups, literally ripping inspiration into the design as is done. And gross businessy manager person was like, we'll use it as is, deadlines, blah. I mean, we can speculate a million things,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think it's tough to know what happened when you don't know what happened. But what we do know is that this has happened multiple times, which turns this into a very bad. You guys need to fucking get it together.
Get it together.
Be better. Fix your processes. If it is a process issue, stop it.
Stop it.
Anthony writes in and says, quick question for Bless. Hype level for Final Fantasy Magic. I'm really hyped. Here's the deal though. And this always happens to me with the crossover stuff, is that the deck that plays closest to my playstyle is the game that I haven't played.
Which
so,
is?
Final Fantasy X.
Hell yeah. Well, there's a way to fix that, Bless.
I was looking on Steam to see how much Final Fantasy X is.
Am I one by one? I'm gonna win.
Legitimately, I was like, well, fuck, I think I gotta play Final Fantasy X. So
Let's do it. Stream it on your own channel. Just do it. Have the
might.
fun.
I might.
Like Mike did.
I got the FOMO. Like watching Mike have such a good time.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to do it. Let's see here. Volkdasher writes in and says, I know we hate PlayStation for live service, but look at the revenue they make without live service. All they need is 1 or 2 live service games to hit, and all the loss becomes a profit. Maybe Jason Blundell. Jason Blundell had the Deviation Studios that got shut down, and he's now working for working on another PlayStation live service thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, what you're saying is very true. That hey, if we find a hit that works, then that hit will work.
But it sounds like the guy from, speaking of Red Dead Redemption 2, right? The guy who's like, just one more. I don't know if that's the line. But the guy, he was like the leader of Arthur Morgan's crew. He was like, oh, those damn O'Driscolls. And like, he was like, just one more. And we'll be able to go to Tahiti.
Just one more.
Just one more. We'll
Just
go to Tahiti.
one more, everyone.
That's what Dutch Vanderlyn. Is Andy out there? Because he does a really good Dutch.
Just one more.
Well, that's what we sound like. Hey, he has a plan. One last ride. Sure, you can bet on the fact that, hey, one success in the space is going to pay for it all. But think about how tough it is to make a success in the space.
Yeah. It's impossible. It's lightning in a bottle.
Yes. And so, be out here trying to catch lightning in a bottle, but you're going to watch everything else fucking crumble around you if that's what your main focus is. I don't know what this means. CJ Splitson writes in and says, Bungie, the biggest lemon in gaming history.
Lemon just means like a dud. Like you bought something and it doesn't work the way you wanted it to. I wouldn't go that far, but honestly, it's in the conversation. I do think that it's like if we did a Gamescast topic that's like, what is the biggest lemon in games history? Like studio-wise, it's like at this point, Bungie is kind of racking up some L's, but they've also had a lot of wins.
That's the thing is I can't look at them as that because Halo and Destiny
but for
alone.
PlayStation though.
For PlayStation,
for the purchase
sure.
from PlayStation.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. But then, we'll see long term because I could see the Destiny money leveling out. I could see Bungie getting back to a place where it's like, all right, cool, you're doing your thing and you're fine as Bungie. Whereas, I forget what the name of the Concord studio is now, but or Fire Sprite, one of those.
Mm-hmm. Aloy
walks up a mountain. No, but she enjoys Sprite. Fuck. I forgot the anagram. I forgot the association. Shit.
But fuck, she likes Sprite.
Aloy drinks Sprite. Is that what it is?
Oh, Lord. We have a Gamescast to get to. We have guests. Let's fucking wrap this shit up.
Let's hop into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Rewrite it and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Bander SN says, Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom target 60 FPS on Switch 1, so there's likely no frame boost going on for Switch 2.
That's all. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's like we don't have all those details, but that makes sense because we don't need the higher frame rate because it already was set to the right frame rate. We just weren't getting it.
Yeah. And then Bander also writes in and says, Tim said it's been a long time since Amy Hennig released a project. Amy Hennig last project released in 2023, Forspoken.
Yeah, but that wasn't an Amy Hennig project, was it?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
she
think
did
so.
something
I think
on
she
it,
just
but
happened to write on it. I don't know if I would call
Correct me
it.
if I'm wrong on that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't look at that as a Amy Hennig project. But yeah, correct us if we're wrong. And that is it for You're Wrong. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the Gamescast next, which is going to be us talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 with Tim, Jake Baldino, and Stu. But until next time, Game Daily.